Yo, what's goody gang? We back at it again for another video today, baby. And we have another hot takes thread. Shout out to the LR Schmo with the late night Dokkan hot takes. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's see what you got. Let's get into the fucking video, baby. Okay, so first, LRs have become oversaturated and less hype as the years go on. Back in the early years of Dokkan, LRs actually used to feel special, releasing once every so often and for characters, but now as the years fly by, the game is littered with them. And now a lot of the characters and moments receive them for virtually no reason. Baby possessed Go Bros, the Boost Saga Hybrid Saiyans are a prime example. The Boost Saga Hybrid Saiyans and possessed Go Bros. Well, I mean, the point of LRs is to introduce a different rarity in the game as well as a different level of power. I do think they're needed. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, feeling like, oh, they're not as special because they're being released in such like a high volume. But I think the LRs, I like them. I mean, I don't have a problem with them being released as much. It's just, I wouldn't say oversaturated and less hype. I think it depends on the character choice. The character choice is what determines if it's hype or not. And the kid as well. I mean, a lot of characters, let's think about it like this. LRTN is not a hype character, right? He needed representation as an LR, but he's not a hype character. His kit, though, makes it worthwhile for him being an actual LR with that level of power and those animations. So that's one example of a non-hype character with a good kit. Now, I will say that, yeah, oversaturated. I wouldn't say it's not oversaturated. There's so many characters that, have Dokkan Fest that need LRs, vice versa. Less hype. I couldn't say that either. It just depends on the character. Yeah, I mean, LR Schmo, I don't know where you're going with this one. I don't agree. Now, should they release a new rarity in the game? Maybe like ULRs, like Ultra LRs or something. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think LRs being the pinnacle of like Dokkan power. I like it. I mean, the more LRs, the better. It's exciting. It's exciting. TURs have fundamentally become more or less useless over the last couple of years to the point where you realistically do not have to pull for them. Back in the day, TURs actually were meaningful and very strong, but now you can realistically only pull during the major celebrations. Well, I mean, to be fair, yes, the major celebrations have the most powerful characters in the game, and they're all LRs. Like, to be real, they're all LRs. I'm not going to disagree with this, but you do have those in between TURs, like AGL Kid Goku, right? I'm going to talk about from this year. AGL Kid Goku, Int Hit, STR Cell, Mercenary Tao was good. The Super Saiyan 4 Daimaku, like those are still like relatively like banger TURs. I mean, just having more of them. They serve their purpose too. They serve their purpose. A lot of even some TURs are better than LRs to a degree. If we're being honest, I think it just depends on the character and the kit that Dokkan tends to release. But no, I think TURs and LRs, like especially TURs, they're needed. Because yes, you want to save those big LRs, like the big budget characters for the hypest times of the year. Then you have these in between TURs. I think they serve different purposes. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't think a hype is relatively the main purpose. I just think that they serve their different purposes, and they serve their purposes right. TURs being the in betweens of the celebrations where you kind of don't have to summon but choose if you want to, versus LRs at the pinnacle of the celebrations are must runs. And the TURs are just there to sprinkle in. It's like it's like having a hot dog, right? Like you have like your glizzy, you have the bun, and then you have the LRs, which are the hot dog and the bun, and then the TURs, which are the ketchup, mustard, I don't know, whatever else you put in there. That's the way I kind of look at it. So it's like a giant hot dog, like a BLT or something. TURs and LRs, they serve their purpose for sure. Because the gap between LRs and TURs is so vast, it makes them fundamentally useless in most cases. Mini Diamond Fork is probably the only exception to this. Otherwise, TURs for the last 2 years have been very underwhelming. I'd say 2023 for sure. 2023 was a very underwhelming year, but the last 2 years, like TURs for 2024, 2025, bangers. Majority of them are bangers. You have like a stinker here and there, but majority of the time they were bangers. The same name update is long overdue and really needs to be implemented by now. It's not a stretch to say this will not hurt the overall balance for the game, since it really only benefits villains who need the help now more than ever. Yeah, I mean, they just need to do away with this, if I'm being honest. Just let all the characters link. I don't know why this is even a thing. Just let the characters link. Or if that's the case, then Dokkan needs to do a better job and really be considerate of the characters they're dropping and the name of the characters they're dropping. Like they can add a little something in there to kind of differentiate it to a degree to where they can all link together. I think that's what Dokkan should do. If they're not going to do the same name update, then just go ahead and just differentiate the characters, you know? It's not hard. Like Fusion Zamasu, for instance. So let's pull this guy up, right? This is actually a perfect example. He was a main talking point. Where's he at? Bro, did I just miss the card entirely? I mean, yeah, well, we can talk about this guy. Fusion Zamasu, right? Just simple, just Fusion Zamasu, right? Very plain. And he is Fusion Zamasu, so this fits his character. Now, when it comes to the other two, where are they at? There they are. Bro, this should not be just Fusion Zamasu. This should be Fusion Zamasu Corrupted, or Corrupted Fusion Zamasu. Like, because Dokkan failed to realize that this is not a Fusion Zamasu, these two could not link together. It was very frustrating because he needed the help for his teams. He needed the help, and that update just kind of shafted his teams, you know? And Dokkan, they just didn't do a good job. Like, if you're going to release a character like this, everybody knows this is not just regular Fusion Zamasu. This is Corrupted Fusion Zamasu. You know what I mean? So I think Dokkan has done a little bit of a better job with being considerate of the names of these characters, but this one was a huge stinker from what I remember. Dokkan needs to add more enticing in-game rewards. It's probably safe to say the majority of the player base at this point is players who have been around for 5 years or more. Most of us have begun hitting max rank and breaking 3 billion power. After that, there's no enticing rewards to play for outside of seeing a higher power level or obtaining titles for missions. I think they should add more cosmetic rewards like titles for hitting level 999 and easy A's, or having a certain amount of rainbow link level 10s. That needs to be more. Reasons to play outside of the first two mentioned above: titles, stones, orbs, anything to show improve. Hey, I play this game a lot. Here's my proof. Yeah, I mean, I think running a shitty, gimmicky, hard red zone fight just for 5 stones is unacceptable. I do think so I talked about this in another thread. I think that they should, like, Dokkan should reward people heavily for no item runs. Because a lot of people like to talk so much shit, like items. Like, what do I need to do? Like, what are no item runs for? I have items. I'm gonna use items. They're there in the game. Like, why would I waste my time on a no item run? Like, as of now, yes, you don't need to waste your time unless you want bragging rights or you're a content creator that's gonna have the proof. But if they give people more of an incentive to do that, like maybe 10 stones, 10 or 15 stones, right? I think that's a pretty good incentive to try and do a no item run. I do think so. But yeah, I mean, they should do a lot more to entice people to actually keep playing the game more, instead of just like, hey, you know, higher power level titles. Like, they need to be doing something, be more, they need to be more multi-dimensional when they're releasing a lot of these updates. Dokkan needs to stop giving us random characters and celebrations that'll never get any support later in the year. Cell Saga is the prime example this year. It could have been an awesome year for Cell Saga if they locked in, but instead left it out to die after STR Cell. Yeah, I mean, this Cell Saga is not even the worst example. I'd say Storied Figures. Storied Figures, that is a dead team. Let's look at some categories real quick. So let's see. Planetemic Saga is dead. I mean, they got buffs not that long ago, but let's see. Yeah, Storied Figures is definitely one team. Rapid Growth is another. Worthy Rivals is another one. I haven't seen another Joint Forces team in a minute. Let's see, what else? Universe 11 for sure. That this team barely has any buffs. World Tournament barely has any buffs. Saviors doesn't really have anything. Storied Figures, yeah, this team just absolutely blows. I mean, look at this, dude. Storied Figures, ESBR, this team fucking blows. Where's Defenders of Justice? I know that's another one. Defenders of Justice. Where's that loser ass team at? Like, Defenders of Justice, another loser ass team. He carried an ESBR. This Gohan and then SR Jocko. This Jocko right here, he carried heavy. But that's about it. Everybody else here is just not runnable in ESBR. This team fucking sucks. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a couple of teams that definitely don't need to be here. And I think Dokkan, if they're not going to release any characters or use a specific point in time, maybe like a month, 2 months to buff the team, then just don't even come out with new teams at all. Like we have too many teams that aren't doing anything. Okay, having bad releases isn't necessarily a bad thing, but when the bad character gets an easy A that still makes them awful, then it becomes a situation of why do you even exist? It feels like the devs don't keep up with which characters need a good easy A and a broken one. I can agree with this. I mean, that's basically into TUR Goku Black. Like, he was bad on release. They gave him a horrible easy A. It's like, bro, like, why do you even exist at this point? I wholeheartedly feel where you're coming from, and I will agree with this. I agree wholeheartedly with this statement. It just doesn't make any sense. This applies to the Legends too, but the games need to stop playing favorites with specific characters. It's ironic coming from a Vegito fan, obviously, but it's still annoying to see Dokkan release 3 Gogetas in the same year. Meanwhile, Vegito got 1. Just feels like a slap in the face. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, didn't Dokkan know, like, on the second Gogeta, like, huh? We've had 2 Gogetas, only 1 Vegito? Yeah, I mean, 3 Gogetas in 1 year, that's actually insane. That actually really is insane. Vegito only got 1. That's crazy. I'm gonna be honest, like, Vegeta must have, like, had relations with somebody's girl in the dev team, because they just hate Vegito this year. Super easy A's need to be more broken and have better longevity. Obviously, it's the nature of a gacha game, but it sucks to see characters like Super Gogeta or Super Vegito get mediocre Super easy A's, and now with no timeline for if or when we will get anything beyond. STR Super Gogeta had a pretty good Super easy A, definitely better than Super Vegito. It sucks to see some of the oldest and hypest characters in the game's history get no time to shine again. Bare minimum Super easy A's should set up the characters to keep them good for the next year before they start falling off to make them more meaningful and special. Well, I mean, okay, so I get where you're coming from, and I agree. You know, like, let a character be broken as long as possible, especially characters like that are so nostalgic, like Super Gogeta and AGL Super Vegito. But at the same time, it's the same thing with easy A's. They're there to complement the team. They're not there to be number 1 in the game for like the longest time. I mean, to be fair, Buhan is an exception. He's, like I said, he's the anomaly, but if we're gonna go the same way they're treating some of these easy A's, they're there to complement the team. They're not made to outshine the head honcho of the team. One specific fight should not dictate a unit's worth and undermine them. Obviously, the drama of the next generation's Blue Zone damaged AGL Gogeta for his reputation, but it shouldn't change the fact that he dominates pretty much everywhere else and is better than most characters in most other fights. Especially if the fight has toxic mechanics like dodge canceling or locking. If they dominate everything but one specific fight or scenario, then that shouldn't ruin a unit's value overall. Yeah, this is a very good point. So I do, yeah, that fight, people switched up on Gogeta in a heartbeat in that fight, where a 13 million super kills like 98% of the game. Like, Tech Z Broly is the only character I've seen tank a type disadvantage super slot 1 turn 1 for under 500,000. Tech Broly is the only one who can confidently live that. Even Golden Frieza still took like a lot of damage from that. But a lot of the fights we have nowadays, there's multiple units made for different fights. That's the beauty of it. Like, you don't have to run Gogeta 4 in every hard content fight. There's different units that are made for different fights, and they shine more than others due to the nature of the mechanics of the boss. Now, I think the switch up on AGL Gogeta 4 is pretty crazy. I mean, he gets touched by a 13 million super. Like, who's living that? I really, who's living that? But I do think that was unfair. I mean, they switched up on him heavy. I do have to agree with that. I mean, Gogeta 4 is still ultimately, or arguably, one of the best characters in the game. Arguably. So, yeah, I mean, with Festival being one of the hardest fights, I can kind of see that. I mean, it just varies. It varies. I mean, the more fights we have, the more of a chance we can see where units shine and where they're being exposed. Every time a new category is released or a category gets a new leader after a very long time, said leader of the team should be built like Daima, Forku, or Omega. The leader should just giga juice everyone on the team and make everyone viable instead of being a one-man army. That's a good point. I like this. I like this take right here. Yeah, like storied figures, right? Like, let us get a good storied figures character that just juices the whole team. Like, I'll say Dokkan goes a month just basically focusing on storied heroes, right? Or storied figures. And Dokkan, like, they've turned, like, they have the power to turn teams into legit powerhouses. Like GT Bosses. GT Bosses has been dead for years. It's been dug 6 feet under for years. And in the span of literally 2 to 3 weeks, they made GT Bosses one of the best teams in the game. Like, it's actually crazy to see how hard that team was revived. They literally brought back from the dead. So Dokkan can do it. It's just I don't know what they got going on up there as to why they pick and choose. But it's very easy to do for sure. So I mean, if they can do it with GT Bosses, they can do it with any team in the game, realistically. The in-game goals like rainbowing units or maxing every unit in your box should be made more available so it's more of a choice than a requirement. I want to rainbow as many units as I can, but I'm constantly limited by the amount of orbs I have outside of Anniversary or Dub or Dub DC. In-game goals like rainbowing units or maxing every unit in your box should be made more available. Well, I mean, rainbowing characters, that's more so of a money thing. Money and RNG. So if you don't have the bread or the RNG to rainbow a character, then it's like you're never gonna do that until like maybe like years later, months later, years later, or whatever. Maxing every unit, that's your choice. That really is your choice. I mean, we already get rewards in the terms of like, you know, power level for it, but I mean, that's really it. It's mainly, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really it. I don't really know what to really say about that, but yeah, I mean, rainbowing units is more of like a RNG and money thing. There's never good ways to get a lot of orbs except maybe burst mode, and the Dokkan Day Link level event should be open all the time instead of only being available twice per month. I like the idea of Dokkan, of like the Spirit of Chamber and Time being open like all the time. I'd actually like that more. That's a solid Link level stage. Okay, this year's batch of free-to-play units should be the gold standard as to what free-to-play should look like. The Rose clones and the free-to-play Diamond units are absolutely incredible, but not too far off from summonable units. And hell, most of them are better than the summonable units we've gotten. This year, while being free-to-play, the nature of the gacha game. Pay-to-play is the nature of the gacha game. They should always allow being free-to-play a fair and safe option for those that aren't full-time adults with jobs and money. Free-to-play should be just as good, but not better than summonable units. Okay, so I agree with, you know, this year being the gold standard for free-to-play characters. I think Dokkan knows or should know better from now on not to release any like dog shit free-to-play characters. The Rose clones were good. The LR Nova Shinron was very good. The Daima units are good. I mean, I feel like Dokkan is probably the most free to play friendly gacha game I've ever played and ever seen. Like, I played Genshin Impact, and that game is not free to play friendly. No, I was playing Genshin Impact for like 3 months when it first came out every day. And after you lose all those resources, you get hard capped into basically being forced to pay to advance. Dokkan, I'd say, is the most free to play friendly gacha game I've ever played. I mean, I think they do a really good job at this anyway. I think Dokkan already does a good job at this. Being a safe and fair option for those that aren't full time. Yeah, adults with job and money. I think they already do a good job at this. All right, well, that's pretty much it for the LR Schmo's hot takes. Big shout out to LR Schmo for the thread. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys like the content, feel free to shoot your boy a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios, amigos.